Alright, today we're doing a first impressions video, an unboxing of the LTT Backpack. LTT, for those of you who don't know, is Linus Tech Tips, one of the biggest tech reviewers on YouTube, if I'm not completely mistaken. One of the, not the, but one of the. And they brought out a tech backpack a couple of years ago, and now I finally have the opportunity to check it out. For those of you who don't know, who are new to this channel, because I know that many of you are not subscribed, maybe consider subscribing, that helps out a lot. With first impressions and unboxings, although I already opened this because I wanted to get rid of some of the stickers that would reveal my address. With all of these first impressions and unboxings, I intentionally do not inform myself about the product because I want to give you the most honest first impressions of a product as if I would be walking into a brick and mortar store, see something and then check it out. And I also don't edit this because I want you to experience me kind of trying to figure out features without any information. Maybe I encounter something and then I kind of try to figure it out and see how it works out, and you experience this live, and that is why I don't edit these. Again, I didn't inform myself, I will not edit this. This is a first impression, not a review. And yeah, without further ado, let's check out this backpack from Linus Tech Tips. And honestly, from first impressions, oh, by the way, I had this shipped to me and I actually had to pay 86 euros in custom fees. So I got this bag for free, but I had to pay custom fees. So everything that I'm saying is unbiased and my own opinion, obviously. And yeah, I like to nitpick anyways with stuff like this. So Linus is a tech reviewer. So I would can anticipate that, although from what I can gather, I'm a huge fan of Linus Tech Tips and his WAN show, the podcast, but still I would kind of argue that although he and his team probably have done a lot of research, I anticipate this not being as good as the backpacks that I usually review on this channel. We Back Enthusiasts know so many different brands and therefore are, especially me as a reviewer, kind of exposed to all of these great brands and great bags. And from a tech reviewer making a bag, I'm not sure if he and his team are that deep into the bag world. So I don't expect too much of this bag, to be quite honest. I kind of expect it to be a little bit over-engineered in a way, but potentially not in a way that I would like. All right, so let's take this out, throw this away, and wow. So, all right, so from first impressions, I already knew what this bag looked like from pictures. And I can tell you right away, I need to be honest here, when I saw the pictures, I don't like the aesthetics. It looks very utilitarian, but not in a good way. Not in a way, for example, a 511 Rush 12, a GoRock GR1. They are a little bit military design, and you could argue those are looking very utilitarian. But in my humble opinion, in a good way. This looks, to me, looks and beauty is in the eye of the beholder, obviously. This to me looks kind of like the typical tech IT guy backpack, or dare I say, a bag that my dad would wear or my grandpa, because it looks kind of, I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not my cup of tea. Kind of like Samsonite, you know, those backpacks that you don't necessarily want to kind of have with if you're trying to look cool or if you're trying to wear a suit in the office. I don't know, it feels a little bit, yeah, for the lack of a better description, that like utilitarian, like I'm a nerd myself. I play Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, and read Harry Potter. I consider myself a little bit of a nerd, and so I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but yeah, it looks kind of nerdy. It looks kind of techy. But again, that's in the very subjective. But what I can say, which is not subjective, this is huge. This is extremely bulky. I would kind of argue you will not be able to fit this underneath an airplane seat. This would probably be considered something along the line of a carry-on backpack that you put in the overhead compartment. So, very bulky, very boxy. This probably will not look that great on your back, dare I say. But I would say the choices of materials here, it's good. The construction, the stitching, from first impressions, looks good as well. You can feel there is a lot of structure. There's probably some packaging inside, but it feels like there is a lot of structure, real integrity here that I would argue, even if I take out whatever packaging is inside, would still keep its boxy shape. Some people will like this, some people like me don't, because I'm a short person. This probably will look like a refrigerator on my back. The zippers are YKK and they are kind of having this titanium-like color and look to them, which on the top here, the zipper pulls, which I really like, and I already have seen that in their website. These are kind of carabiner style. So you can kind of lock these zippers, these dual zippers, the AquaGuard Splash zippers together like, let me just do it like so. And I think this is a genius idea because this will prevent pickpockets from casually, in air quotes, opening your backpack when you're not looking. So I do like that a lot. Here on the top, you have a top handle that is actually pretty much very well reinforced with these with this hardware. The strap is wide but not padded. It's okay. It's not uncomfortable, but it's also not the most comfortable top handle that I have encountered. Then on the side you have a pocket here. Before I go into pockets, let's continue this. The shoulder straps, they are very wide. They have a little bit of padding here that feels soft. Maybe for those of you who are new to this channel, I always kind of say there needs to be a balance point when it comes down to shoulder straps in regards to width, but also in regards to padding. If you make a shoulder strap very heavily padded, it obviously will be comfortable on your shoulders with heavy loads, but it also means the strap becomes very bulky and can snag on or can be cumbersome when you're trying to move around in the subway or when you want to put this in the overhead compartment. So the alternative of this not being too bulky is to make it a little bit wider so that you have a little bit more surface area on your shoulder to distribute the weight on that contact point on your shoulder. So these are really wide. I would say 2 inches or 15 centimeters in width. So this is one of the widest shoulder strap that I personally have encountered. I don't know how comfortable it is. You have some metal hardware, no strap-in organizers, which I honestly don't really like. I like to have strap-in organizers, but overall these shoulder straps, while I don't think they are the prettiest, I think they could be, or I assume they are very comfortable, especially considering how much weight this probably will have once you load it up with tech. This is a tech bag. So as far as I know, because as I said, although I didn't inform myself about the product specifically, I listened to the WAN show and to the videos, and I overheard that supposedly you can fit 2 laptops in here. So I assume this will get very heavy, so it is it has been a good idea to make these really wide and have a little bit more padding here. The back panel seems comfy, has some airflow, but to be honest, most of the time, if there are air channels, for me personally, when I am in Indonesia, I still have like heat points there. And it's a good idea, but in practice, I don't feel that air channels do a lot. This luggage pass-through is removable with some Velcro. Also not the prettiest, but I think it can be helpful to some degree. I see a zipper here, and there is, let me just see, yeah, there is a hidden pocket here, which, if I'm not mistaken, has some RFID protecting fabric, but I'm not sure. It's just a silver fabric, and I kind of perceive that kind of fabric usually, or I attribute it to those pockets that are RFID protected. And because it's here in the back, I assume this is the place where you kind of can hide your passport. Now, let's go to the pockets. Let's start with this front pocket here. We have a quick access compartment here with a soft inner lining, bright orange. Bright orange, yeah. I just wanted to double check something because I overheard, and don't quote me on this, but I heard that some people were complaining that the orange would bleed onto other items, and allegedly there is also should be a warning somewhere. Again, I don't know this, I didn't inform myself, but I heard about that in other videos. So not 100% sure about that. So let's open up this front admin. Oh, I do like that this is not a zipper that goes just here and then opens up like this, but this is kind of like notebook style. I do kind of like this. You have a mesh pocket, a couple of slots, and zippered pockets. So this is really cool, maybe to have flat items here, and opening it up this way is actually kind of creative. I do like this design choice for this front panel. I think this is something that I would love to see with other brands as well. This is really cool actually. Then going to this side, another pocket here on the side. What's this? Oh, another quick access slot with a mesh zipper pocket and some pockets here. Maybe also cool for some items that you want to grab quickly. Zippers aren't as smooth as I would like them to be. Yeah, maybe they need a little bit some more braking. Oh, that's interesting. Here is like a quick access to whatever is here. So this potentially would be great if you store a power bank inside and want to kind of pass through a cable to your phone or whatever. Could be a cool idea. Now getting to the main compartment. And this is really important. This is not a clamshell opening. So the zippers only open up until here, and you open it up. And here, as I assumed, is some filler. But even without as I just said in the beginning, there is some structural integrity in there. So even if this wouldn't be fully loaded, this would still keep its very bulky and boxy and huge shape. So definitely something that you need to kind of keep in mind. So this is the bright orange fabric. Again, I'm not sure if that is actually true, if this orange will bleed onto other items. This is definitely something that I need to do a little bit more research about. And I'm only let me see, is there a warning here in this? No. Again, I'm just relaying something that I've heard. I don't know if I can confirm it. Maybe if you have this backpack, if you heard that as well, let me know in the comment section below if that is actually true. Because to me, this looks like, in air quotes, regular orange ripstop fabric. I can't imagine that this would actually bleed onto other items. So continuing with this is a huge storage area with a little bit of a separate area here for a water bottle that you can get to and kind of keep separated from the other items inside. But obviously this is open, so if a bottle would be in this slot and if it would leak, it would still kind of compromise the items that are in this main storage area. You have a zippered pocket in here. Okay, this is a little bit of a different material. So on this side, you have ripstop fabric. On this side, you have some form of Cordura, I believe, that is in this orange. Maybe that's the fabric that kind of stains. Again, maybe I should stop quoting that because I don't know. I'm relaying here information that I've just heard, but I will try to confirm it once I do the review. So that's this huge main storage area. Now let's get to the laptop slot. Also, again, now I have taken out all of these little filler thingies, and again, I still can feel there's a lot of structural integrity. I mean, that's on one hand a negative because this will always stay bulky, big and boxy and a little bit unwieldy, but because of the structural integrity, especially on the corners and stuff like that, all of your items will have a little bit more safety cushioning, in air quotes, from bumping. So if this drops on the ground, the structural integrity of some of the corners will somewhat protect your items inside. And the bottom is somewhat padded. Now, to the really big deal. I've said in one of my past videos that in 2026, no brand should make non-suspended laptop slots. This is the LTT Backpack, a tech reviewer's backpack. Is the laptop slot suspended? Let's find out. So first and foremost, you can open it like so. It won't kind of topple over and send items here flying, but it's a huge space, and I can kind of see that you could put dual laptops in here, but now let's see. That's why I'm not editing this video, so that you can kind of see my reaction to this. Yes, technically speaking, this is suspended, but on this one slot here, so you have 1, 2, 3 slots. This one is the biggest. This one would be for your laptop. And I'm feeling down here. And I would say, this is an approximation, I would say the laptop is about 0.8, yeah, maybe 0.8, maybe centimeters max suspended from the ground. Not a lot, in my humble opinion. If you drop this a little bit carelessly to the ground, especially if you consider this will get heavy. And I quit physics when I was in school, so please take this with a grain of salt. But I would be a little bit under the impression that the heavier the bag, the more force it might have when you drop it on the ground. And if you are a little bit careless, there is the risk of your laptop still bumping maybe the floor, maybe concrete ground if you are waiting for your subway. And 1 centimeter of suspension, in my humble opinion, is not enough. This is my personal opinion. I already know some of you will comment, oh, I don't have a suspended laptop compartment. This never happened to me. That's fair. But I have an expensive laptop. I have a MacBook Pro. I edit on that for clients. For clients, not only for this YouTube channel, but for clients. That laptop is so important to me and I want to protect it as much as possible. And I am very careful, but I know sometimes I'm a little bit hasty and sometimes I just don't put the backpack on the ground as carefully as I maybe should have. And then it bumps on the ground, and if the laptop compartment is not suspended, there is a risk that I personally don't like to take. So, this being a tech reviewer's backpack, I honestly wonder why it's not suspended. Again, technically speaking, it is suspended, but I personally would have liked 2 centimeters of elevation on the bottom. So almost an inch of elevation on the bottom. I know that is maybe not always possible in terms of space, but this is a huge backpack. I would argue, all right, to be fair, I'm a Mac user. I know that on PC there are some huge laptops that are 17 inches. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe they wanted to accommodate or make it possible that you can fit a 17-inch laptop in here. But still, I personally would have loved if this laptop slot would have a little bit more elevation. And I would argue, okay, to be fair, there is some padding at the bottom, but still, I do feel my fingers here. And yes, there is some padding. Yeah, maybe your laptop is still a little bit better protected instead of other backpacks that only have 1 centimeter elevation on suspension from the laptop. But yeah, again, I personally feel like because this is a tech reviewer's backpack, and because I know that Linus drops stuff occasionally, I feel like it would have been a little bit better to put a little bit more emphasis on protection on these laptop slots, because this main slot here is also an area where you could kind of say, okay, let's put the laptop in here. There is a little bit of padding there, but not plenty. Yeah, I'm a kind of person, I want to protect my investments with laptops, and I know you too, because we can't afford in this economy that many laptops. So yeah, I would have loved a little bit more protection. But going back to something positive, there is a lot of space in here. And I think it's really cool if you need to carry 2 laptops. I know one person in my Patreon group, shout out to you, who needs to carry 2 laptops. But I know that he wouldn't like this design, but I kind of know that being able to carry 2 laptops, that would definitely be for him. So shout out to my Patreon. So yeah, in terms of functionality, this would be for him, but I'm pretty certain that he wouldn't like the design of this that much. But kudos, this is actually the first backpack that I've encountered that had this much space to accommodate 2 laptops. So kudos to that. Now, we went over all of these features. Let me give you a little bit of my first impressions verdict. In terms of, let's start with what I don't like. In terms of the look, I'm not a fan of the look. This is definitely not something that I would like to rock to a client, because yes, I can fit a lot of stuff here, but it doesn't look that nice in my humble opinion. And then it is also very boxy, very bulky. I think it's amazing that I could fit all of my tech items in here, especially when I need to bring all of my film editing gear. I'm fairly certain I can fit everything inside, but then it would get so heavy, and it looks like a mini fridge, in my humble opinion, this boxiness. I'm not a big fan of the somewhat missed opportunity to make the laptop compartment stand out a little bit more. Having a little bit more protection for your laptop would have been great, but it is huge. So yeah, let's go to the positives. I think the space inside this backpack is non-arguably one of the biggest backpack spaces that I've encountered, and I can see that many tech enthusiasts, IT workers who need to carry maybe 2 laptops, then maybe a keyboard that they need to put on a server and stuff like that. I think for those people, this would be great if you had a little bit of tools also, iFixit kits and stuff like that. I think for those people, this is great. And if you don't really need a specific look, again, utilitarian. This is a utilitarian look in my opinion. This would be great. I mean, also those technicians that come to your house to take care of your telephone or IT line, this is perfect actually for those kind of people. The build quality is surprisingly, from first impressions, really good. I love these zipper pulls. These are really cool. Great idea. So yeah, again, not necessarily my cup of tea in terms of looks, in terms of sizing, in terms of form factor. But I do see people who would appreciate this backpack a lot. So yeah, what do you think about this backpack? Let me know in the comment section below. And I am pretty certain that there are some people who already are using this bag, watching this video. Please let me know in the comment section below your long-term experience. Also, is it true that the orange bleeds onto some of your items? Comment below. If you have questions, also comment below. And obviously, if you want to support this channel, A, consider subscribing. B, if you want to get this, maybe consider using one of those affiliate links in the description below. With those, you won't pay more, but you will support this channel with a small kickback of that sale. And yeah, maybe check out a different backpack that would be not necessarily an alternative to this, but that I personally consider looking a little bit better than this. Check it up here. YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button up here. That way we see each other in the next video. Thank you very much.